Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dual Screens podcast. I am one of your hosts, Stephen Fontana, and with me, back again, reunited, and it feels so good. It's me and Andy Asimakis. How are you, Andy?
Stephen, I'm a big old perv, and even I am not ready.
Why do I know
What's
that?
about to happen this week
Yeah.
on this podcast with this interview with this guest.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't know you were going to lead with that right away, but...
Wait for the leading question. I got notes.
Oh, for crying out loud.
But go on.
Yes, but go on indeed. This beautiful human being with us this week is Maggie Robertson, actor, singer, BAFTA Nominated Actress, the Game Awards winner, overnight sensation, literally, and the voice of Lady D, big old tall lady in Resident Evil Village. Maggie, welcome to the show. Don't worry, we'll get to the name in a minute. Hi, Maggie.
Okay, great. I was like, you copped out of that one.
I was on that roll, and I was like,
I won't call you out.
Oh no, we're doing it. I saw your face immediately. I was like, no, we're gonna do it. Don't worry.
One of your better intros, buddy. Congratulations.
Listen,
I felt really good. That was
crushing it.
That was good. Yeah. Should we just end the show?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that was great.
I was like, what isn't she? What else can I put in here?
I know. What can't I do?
Professional napper.
Aren't we all? COVID has taught us so much. Maggie, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I am fabulous. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you here. This was a bucket list guest of ours, isn't that right, Andy?
Oh my God. You take a chance, you know? It was like months in the making. I think I emailed your people like in June or July. And then
is it that I have people?
You got people.
You have people.
You legit have people.
We have people too. My people is Andy.
Yeah.
Your people.
I'm the
reached out
people.
to my people.
Correct.
Right.
And then
Correct.
our people peopled together.
Yeah.
Yes, people make things happen.
We still gotta do lunch, but then I got an
People
email.
Make the world go round. Yeah.
Exactly.
I got the email back like around Halloween. I was like, this is like the most amazing timing. The DLC just came out for RE8. It's spooky season. The blessing. Let's do this.
The blessing. We love it.
I think that things always happen when they're supposed to happen too.
Yeah.
So I feel I'm right on board with this.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, because I feel like that's so serendipitous, because Big Lady D, or as I'm going to try and pronounce, Dimetrescu.
Oh.
Dimetrescu.
Huh.
That is what I would say.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
How bad is it? Andy, you look like you're in pain.
Because I am in pain.
But Maggie looks like she has at least a modicum of sympathy for me.
It's like I stepped on a Lego.
Oh, I see.
I let it linger for a little bit.
It's it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't roll off the tongue like that.
Yeah,
it does not.
Okay. Well,
no, I have a lot of sympathy for you, because I was you. The very first day of recording, I show up. I had never heard her name spoken aloud before, and she says it like 5 million times in that first scene. And so I was very quickly like, oh no, how do I say this? And I would this is not an exaggeration, but I was a crazy lady, and I would go into the corner in between takes, and I would just mutter her name, rocking back and forth to myself. Dimitrescu. And bananas. It's a miracle that anyone.
Dimitrescu. So the
Dimitrescu.
Dimitrescu. So the U.
Lady Dimitrescu.
The U is just not. It's a fallacy. It is all a lie.
It's a house of lies.
The house of lies.
It is an alphabet soup, and it is a liar to us.
In a house of flies.
Oh my! You see that?
God, look at me.
Look at you. You're a professional.
Guys.
See, I know a lot about the game. I just haven't. I'm not allowed to play it, because of nightmares.
No, it's clear who's played the game and who has not.
I'm just gonna sip the tea on the side here.
Yeah. Well, Andy,
you thought I was going to come on your podcast and be nice to you?
I was hoping not, actually.
Don't you know I'm typecast to play villain?
And don't you worry. We'll get into the whole Dom sub situation that Lady D has put the gamer universe into. But Andy, You are a Resident Evil nerd, a resident Evil nerd, and
I am.
horror aficionado.
Ooh, I love
And-
that for me.
Yes, well, that's what you are. You are a horror show wrapped up in a
I
little
am. I'm a-
gay tortilla.
I'm a living
That's what you.
nightmare.
and we love you for it, Andy. Why don't you take us into our ceremonial first question of the show? Just do it. Hit us up.
So, Maggie, I did some research on my end, which I really do for the show because, whatever, it's a show. I don't take it that seriously, but it is what it is.
Sweet.
And I noticed that you have several unannounced projects
So many.
in the pipeline that you're working on currently.
How did you notice that?
We're not going to go into what those are.
Don't worry, we're not those kind of
Unless-
people. Don't worry.
Unless, NDA breaking is a whole different kind of horror story. But
Yeah, we don't want to be
It's a
those
horror story
people.
for everyone. We don't want it.
Yes, of course. The question I have for you is,
Mhm.
okay. I want to run into Lady Dimitrescu's mommy milkers. Wait,
Is that your question?
Wait,
hold on.
wait.
The glasses are off. What?
The glasses are off for those who are listening.
Okay.
Okay.
Why go on any further with your career? At this point, have you not already peaked?
It's a really excellent question, and I really appreciate the gravity that you've conveyed the question with.
Hard-hitting journalism here.
We love drama, and you have excelled at it in this moment. It's a really excellent question. I ask myself that every day. What's the point of going on? Is there anything more out there for me?
Yeah, I get it.
Right.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't know how to answer that seriously.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, listen, she could step on me all day. I mean, how does one? How does one?
You're the worst.
How does one? Surpass that? I feel like just go to the beach right now. You've done it.
Go off into the sunset.
From here on out, that would be fabulous. But to your point, I do think you're right in that this role is one of a kind, and one of a lifetime.
Right.
I don't know if I'll encounter another role quite like this with the sensation and the sensationalism that this role has had throughout the entire process. So she's a special little being in my heart. She'll always live right
there.
here.
A little further down for most other people.
Wow. She's my baby. I can't feel that way about my baby.
Before we before we get into story time, which I do have a story time for everybody. It's about our very own Taylor Allen, who has a very special relationship with Lady D. I don't know if everybody knows that, but
special?
It's quite special. But before we do that, let's tell you what the hell you're listening to, people. This is the Dual Screens Podcast, the internet's #1 indie developer interview podcast. And see, it threw me off because this is an indie developer, but we also interview, of course, programmers, voice actors, artists. Everyone has a story to tell, and we want to be their platform to do it. The show posts each and every Friday for your listening pleasure on your podcast service of choice, including our host, Podbean. So you could just grab the RSS feed from there if you like and throw it in whatever player you use. But we're on everything: Apple, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, I don't know, pretty much everything. And of course, we're on youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. And if you want to support us on Patreon, go to patreon.com/dualscreens. Just like our Patreon producers, Colton the Apprentice Nestler, and FNH Paul. We cannot continue to grow without all of your support. So please, your support goes a very long way in helping us secure better equipment, better opportunities for interviews like this. Allows us to cover more games, allows us to get more people on board to help us make content, and of course it helps us get to all kinds of gaming events and travel across the country and maybe one day the world to go see and cover indie games for you. And of course, we're not talking about an indie game, Andy. No, this is not an indie game, but
All right, we'll allow it.
No, this is fine, because indie games right now are kind of in that spectrum where voice acting is becoming it's an easier expense to take on because of the technology and how you're able to basically get voice talent from across the world. I've lent my voice to games that were being made in Europe, and I've recorded it from my little podcast closet that I have here. It's been an explosion of it. We've seen it everywhere. And Maggie, I just wanted to kind of take the wheel of time back a little bit and talk about how you got started in video game voice acting and kind of where that has taken you and up until we got Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, boy, oh boy, buckle up. My start was, drum roll please, Resident Evil Village.
Okay. No, that's actually, that's not a typical story. Like a lot of people need a voice acting reputation, especially for the bigger games. So how did you come about that? How did you nail that from the beginning?
It's not a typical story, and that's part of why the whole journey that I've been on with this character and the success of this character has been so surreal throughout. The way I describe it, the quote I always use is, luck happens when preparation meets opportunity. I was incredibly lucky to land this role, to even find the audition for this role. But I was able to book the job and I was able to have the success that I had with this role because I was incredibly prepared. I was a theater actor. My background's in theater. And then I had literally just gone and done my master's degree and gotten a degree in classical acting, read lots and lots of Shakespeare from Lambda. And then I moved from London to Los Angeles at the beginning, January of 2019. And then Resident Evil was the third job I booked a few months after I moved to Los Angeles. This does not happen. And so that's kind of crazy. But the lesson is, the lesson is that your big break could be just around the corner, and you never know what is going to launch you and launch a career. And so you just have to always be ready. You have to be prepared. I was so trained and I was so ready to take on the challenge of this new opportunity. And coincidentally, I felt like a lot of my background and my training made me uniquely prepared to step into this experience, because doing performance capture feels very theatrical. There's a lot of your imagination that you employ and a lot of make-believe and suspensive disbelief and all that jazz, and physicality that you're using and how to interact with a space that's very akin to doing theater. And then Lady D in particular, I felt is very Shakespearean. She's incredibly heightened. The language that she's using is heightened, and language is used as a weapon for her. It's yet another tool in her arsenal, aside from her claws and her buxom figure. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, so all of that felt really like a nice little sidestep. It was certainly a very new challenge, and every day I was just a sponge trying to soak it all in, but it felt like a really natural sidestep and a place where I could thrive. The second I got into the volume on the first day, it was like a lightning bolt. I was hit and I was just like, this is what I need to do. And then I completely reoriented my career to be focused on voiceover and to be focused on performance capture. And here we are today.
That's interesting on so many levels, but from a struggling actor perspective, like when you first get into it, when you're first looking for those jobs, like you could go with two mindsets. You could go, I'll take anything, any opportunity, look at the paper, circle everything, make out your schedule, go audition, and hope throw spaghetti at the wall, hope something sticks. But there are other people that look at it as a hierarchy. Like, well, there's Broadway theater. Then in New York City, it's where I grew up. There's Broadway theater, and then there's like film and television, and then there's like off Broadway, and then there's like black box, and then there's like student film, and like you go down this list. And voice acting or video games were so far down the list for so long. Did you know this was Resident Evil and like that just kind of went up on your radar, or was this just like, hey, it's an opportunity for anything, let's see what happens?
No, this was me throwing spaghetti at the wall, and boy, did it stick. I oftentimes with video games, especially AAA games, they are under NDA. They're not sharing any of the information about the game. So the entire casting breakdown that I saw, and I didn't have an agent at the time either. So this was, again, me just being proactive and seeking out these opportunities for myself. But the entire casting breakdown was fake. The character name was fake. The plot line, the scene that I even auditioned with was not fake, and all of that jazz. So I had no idea what I was auditioning for, but I had kind of had in the back of my brain, hey, you're the girl that loves to do silly voices. And the voice in particular has always been kind of a cornerstone of what I've built my craft around and what I've built my career around, because I started off as a singer first, and I really like thinking about sound and manipulating sound and getting to play. So I had in the back of my head, I think voiceover could be really cool for a long time. And then I saw this audition, the character description felt very Shakespearean to me. So there were just a lot of checks in a row. And I was like, well, you know what? Why not? Why not? I'll give it a shot. It probably won't pay very well, but I'll just see. And I'll just see if I like voiceover and if it's something that I even want to continue to think about. And yeah, here we are.
Did you know the performance capture was part of the gig from the beginning?
No, and I should have. I think probably a more astute or experienced actor in LA probably would have figured it out. I should have known because my audition was in person, which doesn't happen for voiceover. But I was just like, la, 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 I do theater. This feels really normal. Wow, I just spit so much. I don't know if you picked it up on camera. I can't wait for people to rewind and try to watch my glob of spit.
It'll be turned into an NFT very soon. Don't worry.
Amazing. Love that journey for me. And yeah, who said I have peaked already? Look at that. I just spit. That was the peak right there. I'll end now. What was the question? What were we talking about?
Who the hell knows? No, whether or not you knew performance capture was part of this whole situation, because because you're talking about wanting to be a voice actor, wanting to do, VO, and now you're, going to throw the suit on with the balls all over you and get them to
space pajamas.
Yeah.
Talk about getting thrown into the deep end. But it really was so fun because performance capture and mocap, for me, they kind of get at the root of why we all, I think, wanted to become actors in the first place, which is just the sense of play and the sense of getting to really activate your imagination and invest and endow these crazy worlds and these crazy circumstances as real. So it's just a ton of fun. And I think also what's unique about the people that do performance capture and also who do voiceover is that I haven't experienced a whole lot of ego. I think when you get dressed in a tight little Velcro suit, there's nothing left to the imagination. You're just so vulnerable. You're so exposed. And then you go out there and you act like a crazy person. And you have to check your ego at the door. You have to just go in with a sense of, okay, y'all, let's get weird. Let's create some good shit. Let's go. And so I've really loved the community that I've found within performance capture and within voiceover too. And that's part of what makes the work so much fun. Everyone is there. They're at the peak of their craft, the top of their industries, and they're all just here to make the best products that they can. They have no other secondary objectives other than let's make something really freaking good. Let's just make it good. Let's do whatever we need to do to make the best product that we can. So it's really exciting to work in those creative spaces.
This is transformed your life, I feel, completely.
In every way.
Because you're going from, a novice into the whole realm of voice acting to now there's the success, the exposure, the having people aspect. And then there's the thirsty community of fans that are that also came along with it. It's how do you juggle all of these firsts and changes in your career in a row, rapid fire, just all of it in one shot? Hey, you're a household name. Hey, people know who you are. Hey, horny stuff. It's a lot.
Hey, deviant art.
Yeah, it's how do you manage all of that? And you carry it so well.
Oh, that's a miracle. That's called acting.
Oh, there it is.
You're right on the money. Every aspect of my life was touched and was changed by this experience. That's not an exaggeration. And it has certainly thrown a lot of curveballs, and I've had a very great learning curve throughout it all. It can be very overwhelming, I think, because I came from a place of complete anonymity, and then was thrust into the spotlight in a way that I never even expected, because when I went into the job, I knew I was a villain, but I wasn't the big bad. So I was like, yo, people will think it's really cool that I'm in Resident Evil, and it will stop there. And then to have her just explode in the way that she has was so far above and beyond any sort of expectations that I had going into the process. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I don't have an answer for you other than you try and you fail, and then you
hire an agent.
Yeah, you sink or you swim, quite honestly, and you get people. That's why the people are so important. That's one of the biggest things I think I've learned, is that my time now is so valuable because I'm doing 10,000 new things. And so time is really the most valuable resource that I have. So I'm willing to invest in having people, having a team that I trust to help offload some of the work. And so that I want to be surrounded by experts, I think is what it is. And I'm not an expert at PR. I'm not an expert at XYZ other things. So I want to be able to have the best of the best on my team to help me succeed and help me thrive. And I think that's the way to get through it. You got to Avengers assemble it and get the team behind you.
Yeah. And like, it shows how when you mention like remaining humble and checking your ego at the door, you've embraced every bit of this. Like you're owning it left and right. It's like, just bring it on. Like, this is amazing. Like,
it's such a gift. It's such a gift. I think if you lose the gratitude and you lose the sense of awe surrounding the experience, that you're doing something wrong, something's not connecting. It's such a privilege to be in this position, and it's such a privilege to be able to have a fan base that I can engage with. And especially because I think when you say you want to become an actor, you oftentimes think about, yes, the roles that I take on or the projects that I do, those will have an effect on people, and those projects will create change or impact people's lives in a really tangible way. But I think so rarely do you think about the flip side of how you, the person, as a result of those roles, can also affect change and can have an impact. And for me, that's been the most amazing part of it. I never expected that the fan base for the character would then kind of shift over to me, and that I'm able to have an impact on other people's lives across the globe, because Resident Evil is such a huge global franchise. So that's been such a gift. I don't think you can ever take it for granted. So many people work so hard for so long to achieve even a microscopic bit of what I've been able to achieve with this character. And to your point, yes, stay humble. That's
people didn't even have a chance to really like dig, research, nothing, because you went from, we got the trailer and we're like, oh, that's a badass. Like that is horrifying. And I also kind of love her. And then it was like Game Awards winner. Like, and now we know who you are. And it's
BAFTA.
But the Game Awards is when I first saw you and like knew anything. Like you looked like you were dropped from an airplane into this mystical candy land of like fantasy and wonder, and you were just like, wait, what? What? And now the story you're telling me, it's like, oh shit, no, I had no idea that this was like so early in your career. That of course this was like, from an airplane, you were literally, I mean, wonder. It was like you were, I don't know exactly. It was so awesome to watch, and congratulations on that. And I hope that you continue to like spin this into a really satisfying, fulfilling career. And, obviously you will. I'm not, none of us are questioning that. But like, did you worry about immediately following that, like if there would be like this cliff, because you started off so high and you're like, okay, now what? Like, what do I, like, what's what's bigger than Resident Evil? Like Mario, are you going to be the new Princess Peach?
Surprise! I thought you were going to be like, I'm going to be the new Mario, Chris Pratt. Move aside.
Yeah, move aside. Move aside, Mario. Wahoo! I mean, I got news for you, Peach. That's
I
like
would love
5
to see a
things.
gender bent Mario. I would actually be so down for that. I think, but you're right.
Have you ever been to New York?
To New York, yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
Her name
Walk
is
down the
Maria,
street.
and she's all over Diker.
Yeah.
So I can introduce you to plenty of Marias. Don't worry.
You right. I'm wrong. Yeah, no, I think it's all definitely a consideration. And what am I saying? Words now. I'm just thinking about Mario.
Would you like story time? Because I think it would be a great time for me to tell you about our friend Taylor.
Oh yeah, tell me a story.
So Taylor,
entertain me.
Taylor is
how it works on this show.
One of our other hosts and producers came along about a year ago, a little over a year ago, and in his early streaming career, he was challenged by his viewers to play Resident Evil 8 because he is a self-proclaimed baby and is terrified of horror movies. He won't watch them. He hates everything. He audibly goes like when something gross happens on the screen. Like he's like the worst. And he went into this game really not knowing anything except that it was going to make him squirm and cry. And there is a moment of a good, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 minutes when he's being chased by Lady D. And all he could think of is, she's my type. I love her. She step on me tall lady, I believe was one of the things he said.
Had he not seen all the memes and stuff before?
He had not.
Went in blind?
He, as far as what I understand, he didn't quite know that she was like 8.5 feet tall. Like didn't really
9'6",
whatever the hell 9.5 feet tall.
Oh,
does that include the like kind of vampiric level? What is it? Levitation, or is that with the hat?
I think it includes the hat and the heels
and the stiletto. Yeah, the heels.
Yeah.
Either way, sexy. Who are we to fight? They do leg lengthening surgeries now, so any guy could go for any girl now. But they can. It's true.
Life.
It is, but they can only give you 6 inches because then your legs will just be too brittle. I looked it up because short guy problems. Anyway, but
I don't have that issue.
This whole thing was very funny because
what's it like not getting to the top shelf, Steven? What's that feeling like?
For you? How's the weather down there?
I could tell you this. I know how to pick out a sturdy chair. Ooh, 4 legs got to be made of wood. Have cross bracing. The more gussets, the better.
Not gussets.
Yeah, I gotta have those cross braces. But poor Taylor, he fell in love with Lady D, and of course was terrified for the rest of the game. But whenever Lady D came on the screen, he was enamored. So much so that a viewer of ours, CTO the Bro, shout out to CTO if he's watching or listening, made a song all about his infatuation with Lady D, taking sound bits. So you could probably find that. It's CTO the Bro is his YouTube channel, and I'm sure you could find all of the beautiful sound bits of It's Perjure, aka Taylor, asking tall lady to step on him and to do many other things while he's running away from her in a video game.
Yeah, put that in your spank bank.
Put that. Man,
I wonder what things he was talking about.
His wife was in the room, so it was whatever it was approved. So that's all we have to. But listen, chicks dig tall chicks too.
They do.
We don't discriminate around here. Andy, get us back on track, please.
I mean, like, I get it. Everyone's.
She's fucking horrifying.
What do you think? She's horrifying, and but that's part of her sex appeal too.
Sure.
I don't think she is horrifying though. Like I'm a great appreciator of a well crafted female,
a powerful
body. Yeah. Like again, I think as a gay man, like I respect the form, the shape, the power, the confidence she exudes. It's stunning in every way imaginable.
It's really exciting to see
Yeah.
a female video game character with that quality about her. I don't know. I think she's kind of unique, and we're seeing things with Lady D that we don't necessarily get to see all the time in terms of representation. And it's been really exciting also to have people reach out to me to talk about how important that was for them to see that representation, to see a curvy woman, to see a strong woman, a tall woman, this type of woman that doesn't fit into the regular bounds of society. And that's been really exciting as well and important as we have this push for representation across medias. I think we can see how important it is. It does make an impact, does change lives.
And just so in control, like, of the situation. Like, she just knows, like, the power she wields when she enters a room.
Yeah. Confidence is sexy. And what I love about Lady D is that she is so unapologetically herself, and you're gonna get on board or you're gonna get killed.
Now,
so yeah.
How often do you like conjure up Lady D in your day-to-day life? Like, does she come around? Like,
it's upsetting. It's too much, quite honestly.
Where does Maggie end and Lady D begin when you're during the course of the day?
I don't know.
I wake up,
murder,
and
it stops right before murder. All of the thoughts are there, but the murder hasn't quite happened yet. And you've been in LA traffic before, haven't you, Andy?
Oh, I have.
Yeah, it's Maggie will get there.
No.
Who's to say I'm not already there?
If you had vampire powers, I mean, LA,
I would love that.
LA is where you want to be.
I think if I was a supernatural, I would probably be a vampire.
You like the night? You're not.
I love the night.
But you look like an early morning But like, do you enjoy like your cup of Joe in the morning and your
Wait, did you just say I look like a morning person?
You do. You come across as somebody that's like, hey, I'm awake at 7 a.m.
I don't get that at all.
That's because you're speaking to me at 5:45 p.m. my time.
Yeah.
This is my morning.
Yeah.
Oh, heard. All right.
That's a lie. That's a lie. I've had to train myself into being more of a morning person because
you're an actor.
Do your job.
You're an actor. You could just, I guess I'm a morning person today. Yay.
I guess you are. No, I feel like I'm always at my most creative at night.
Oh,
There's
absolutely.
Some weird kind of like the witching hour happens. And then I'm just like, boom, 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 all of these ideas. And then I stay up and I do them all. And then I'm like, why is it 5 a.m.? God damn it. Not again. Oh.
When you're go ahead, Andy.
Oh, no, I was going to ask a serious question, but
so was I.
If you want, not like super serious, like it's
okay.
I
was going to go into.
Are the glasses coming off again when you ask it?
They may, but like they may stay off for the rest of the show. It's that serious.
Okay, so let's not take it there yet. So here's what we'll do. I'll ask this because this is more about performing Lady D and getting into that whole situation, and then you could take it down seriously.
Oh, sure.
So Lady D, like we've said. You had the theater background. Lady D's a very theatrical character. Really commands a room. There's a saying when you're watching a film or even playing a video game that the world could be a character. I feel like Lady D is one of the first characters that became the world, where it was like her character in a room became the setting of the scene. It was less about the creepiness around her, and it was more about the ambiance and the setting that she created around her as she was moving around. Now, with that being said, like, what kind of creativity did you have in that, or was that all just like the direction you were given? Was it later on? Did you just do something and then look at the game and go like, "Well, I wasn't trying to do that, but that looks awesome"?
It was all me, I'm sure. Everything I did.
Well, you did win the award for it, so,
and not by accident at all. No, to your point, I think you're absolutely right. And what I love about Capcom's design, I've talked about this in interviews before, so sorry for being a broken record, but I think I sound really smart when I say it, so I'm going to say it again. The way Capcom has designed her, before she even opens her mouth, she is a character. She oozes character. So to be able to see, once I was able to finally see what she looked like and see the previs, it opened a lot of creative doors for me in terms of, oh, now I understand the last piece of the puzzle. And it's very similar to what George Lucas does with a lot of his Star Wars characters. They always say that the characters in Star Wars have a silhouette. So you always can tell who they are from a distance. Lady D is the same. She's so physically distinctive that she is a character in and of herself. You don't need to know anything else about her. You can see everything that she is right in front of you. And so I think that's a really unique characteristic, in fact. So then for me as an actor, what that meant was there were a couple of like technological considerations when you're doing performance capture. Because she is so big, she just naturally carries a lot more weight on her frame. So for me, I had to think about really consciously slowing down my movements and adding a lot more weight to my movements so that she could feel physically distinctive from the other normal sized creatures or humanoids in the room with her. Especially for that initial cathedral scene, that was a big consideration of how is my movement profile telling us a specific story in comparison to the other physical stories that are being told by these other characters. So having that kind of negotiation between the different characters and their sizes and their physical stories, and then also with her curves, with the elegance of her dress and her cigarette and her hat, I just felt like to create the power. She's clearly a person that carries a lot of high status. And I don't mean that in terms of her social status in the hierarchy. I mean the status that she carries within her body. All of her movements are very economic. She doesn't waste her energy. She doesn't move in a straight line because she knows that she has the power in the room and they're going to wait for her to get there in her own time. So everything she does is in a curve. And so exploring that kind of indirect curve physical profile was really a key component of how I created the physicality of Lady D.
It's awesome.
That did sound smart.
Oh, thanks. Did you like how I ended it? I did smart thing.
I gotta say, before I go into a whole serious part, the whole watching you between the spit and the lip balm application, you've like secured our first million view video.
Oh my gosh.
We did it. We did it. And honestly, I think if Andy and I also do a slow head curve, I think we'll definitely hit 1 million. So here let's
we'll do Lady D tutorials. Yeah, do it. Ooh, love it.
I think that was pretty good. It's just one of these.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it. So we talked about, this whole your world transforming and changing since you've entered now, like, into the video game voice acting. And I'd be remiss not to mention the whole Bayonetta 3, Helena Taylor situation.
Mm-hmm.
Watching that from the outside, what are your thoughts on that whole situation, regardless of like, because you talk about time and value and how much that now means to you, what you're worth and all of that. What was that like for you, seeing that unfold like live?
I think the whole thing was really unfortunate, and especially for everyone involved, all the creatives that are working so hard. It's such a tricky thing if things hadn't come out after the fact about maybe some omissions of details there, right, then I would feel perhaps differently. But regardless of that, I think I don't know. I think you do have to make conscious choices as an actor of what are you going to fight for? What are you going to, what is your value? And I don't necessarily fault anyone for advocating for their worth. I think that it could have been done differently. And I have the utmost respect for Jennifer Hale, who is taking on the role now. I think she's just fantastic and a wonderful person as well as an actor. So these considerations in terms of the value of voice acting in video games is certainly a conversation that I think is at the forefront of our collective consciousness now, especially as what you were saying with indie games. I think the voice talent, the voice acting is becoming a more and more critical component to video games, that we're not willing to settle for bad acting. We want to have a really immersive experience with characters that are fantastic and acted really, really well. So That's one thing that I think is exciting about games, is that they're starting to feel really cinematic, that there's a lot of attention to detail and a lot of attention to storytelling. So you can really go on a journey, and acting is a part of that. And I don't think you can undervalue it, but I also think you need to be respectful of all the creators that do hard work.
Right.
We're all just everyone just wants to make a really good thing. And so I think it's important to approach every situation with empathy and with that in mind, of everyone's here just trying to make the best product that they can. And how can I engage with that? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think about my most cherished gaming memories, like in recent years, like, that when voice acting first came along, like Metal Gear Solid and Legacy of Kain, and those games, I think I adore them because the acting is so intense, and they're taking it very seriously, and you have to wonder, is their level of effort being properly compensated? Because they're giving it their all. Like David Hayter, I think he said that at one point, like his voice, it became so strained doing the gruff Solid Snake for years.
Yeah.
Like, and is that being properly, like, that's a factor?
Yeah.
No, you're so on the forefront of all of these conversations. David Hayter, also, as a side note, is just an amazing human being. David Hayter, love them.
Yeah.
He's such a delight. And I think that's another part of the consideration, is that for us, the voice, you only have one.
Yeah.
And I'm also noticing how janky my
God.
You also have only one painted nail. Yeah.
Can we start a new trend of maybe this is fashion? Is it fashion?
Lady D wastes no energy. Her nails are exactly how she wants them to be.
Exactly. Yeah. That sounded very Gandalf of you. A
Yes.
wizard arrives exactly when he means to. Lady D paints her nails exactly the way she means to. Right. What we're talking about? Yes. Yeah, you only have one voice.
Yeah.
And in order to have longevity in your career, you do have to protect it. And so I think part of that was due to a lack of understanding about vocal health, that obviously if you're not a voice actor, if you're not trained technically in the voice, you don't understand the mechanics of what is happening. And that stuff can actually that can cause damage. Yeah. And then you're donezo. So
coming from singing is a massive advantage. Just knowing your limits. Yeah.
It's interesting because I think so often with vocal training for singing and also for acting with Shakespeare as well, I felt like a lot of the vocal training that I was receiving was about how to create the most perfectly technically correct and healthy quality of sound.
Right.
But so often with video games, what you're being asked to do is in fact create really ugly sounds, really heavily textured sounds. So they're not looking for technically correct and smooth and resonant all the time. So it's about, part of my learning curve has been just that, of how can I tweak my technique so that I can retain flexibility within my voice and have a really wide range of different textures and vocal profiles that I can offer, and still protect myself and still know when it's time to say, hey, I need to take a break, or hey, actually, that's the end of our session. We can reschedule. We can have another one to come in to do the rest of it, especially when you get into efforts, especially when you get into lots of shouting and screaming. And I don't know if I have a good answer. That's still something that I'm very much investigating. I'm kind of looking at, the metal singers, of how they do their screaming with health. They have technique behind it. And so that's something that I'm kind of looking into and experimenting with, of like, oh, well, how do you do that? And how can I apply that to me so that I'm not fatigued afterwards and all that jazz? So it's always a balance. It's always a scale. There's no one right way. It's always a little bit of a give and take as well. So there's sometimes when I'm in a session and maybe I decide it's more worth it in that moment to push through a little bit, to get to the end, to finish the last little chunk, or to do the thing that the client has asked me to do because I want to do a good job and I want to make them happy. So it's always a little bit of a give and take. There's no one right answer.
Never look them in the eye. Never look them in the eye if they're asking you to do a little something, like if you know it's coming, keep your head down, don't make eye contact and go, I'm just It's because as soon as you look him in the eye, you're going to be like,
time.
sure. All right, Andy, we need to get into rapid fire, and this is going to be a quick rapid fire. Andy.
Steven, you got like listener questions from Reddit too. So
crap. Okay,
snap.
You know me. I gotta like.
Here's what we do.
So focused.
Here's what we do.
Yeah.
We do rapid fire Reddit questions. All right.
Okay.
So let's pepper in these questions here.
Okay.
Hit us up, Andy.
What is your favorite part? And this is Pocket Cat 75 asking.
Pocket Cat. This can't be good.
What is your favorite part of Resident Evil Village besides Lady D?
Oh. Moreau.
Oh, that's a good choice.
He's just so.
That's a great choice.
I just want to swaddle him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's never been swaddled before. I feel like that's all
I think he's so
That's all it would
desperately in
take,
need of
yeah.
love. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
He's
That's
a
all he
really
needs.
easy heel. He's a really easy fix.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a puppy. He just needs some love.
Oh, don't we all? Dollmaker 723 a bunch of numbers asks, what was your favorite line or scene to perform?
Line, I don't know. It changes every day. Scene, table throwing, because I got to PCAP that, and that was so much fun, and that was on an acting bucket list for me. Otherwise, it would be the really awkward moment of trying to suck Ethan Winter's blood on my very first day of recording. So I was like, hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. Let me just pretend to suck your blood. And the thing to keep in mind is that we're wearing face cameras. So nothing can pass in front of the face camera. Otherwise, it disrupts your facial data from being read. So when I'm sucking his blood, I have to mime it. And so I'm just sitting there like, and then the cinematics director is saying, give me more. And I'm like, what do you want from me?
Give me anything, damn it. What do you mean give you more?
Can you make a note? Can you timestamp that exact facial thing she did?
4627. We're good.
W_Pasky asks, have you seen the Fly Swatter weapon mod video?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes.
So have I.
I've seen a bunch.
Oh no. I'm so sorry. Turn off those Google alerts.
Darth Linkfin asks, here's a question. Were you a fan of the series before getting into the role? And if so, any favorite characters?
Fun fact, I am not a gamer. I don't know why I wagged my finger at you. I'm not a video gamer. So I had never really played games before. So I had heard of the franchise because it's so big, and I had seen the movies, which I know are
It's like
risque
the worst way to be introduced to the franchise.
I could tell you this much. Gamers, it doesn't matter. Gamers like you way more than they like Mila Jovovich as far as Resident Evil is concerned. So GG's on that one. You beat Mila. Suck on that, Mila.
I love Mila, though.
One of our good friends, Harry Lazidis, asks, what's the strangest request you've received from a fan?
Oh no!
This can be as filthy as you want it,
as you're allowed for it to be.
I'm allowing it to be.
How many people have you stepped on?
Well, I get a lot of
for
them.
A photo.
So that's almost too easy because I get too many of them to count.
Right.
But I think the weirdest thing for me has been moving into the era of Streamily signings, where I do live autograph signings, and then I'm drawing doodles on people's prints, and then they're getting those doodles tattooed onto their bodies, and like they're not good, you know.
That reminds me, is the mental health budget on the ballot this year, Andy? Speaking of,
that's really,
as you slowly watch me.
We gotta look at that because people are fucking weird.
The way things are going, I'm gonna say a big fat no to that. All right, Captain Salty the Obvious asks. This is a non-Lady D question, by the way, so I appreciate it. Whose idea was it to cover the song "Lucky" by Emraz and Colby Calate? Was it you or Nicole? Swapping boy to girl was a nice touch.
Colby Calais, come on now. Did you
I don't know. Listen, I'm the worst.
You don't know Colby Calais and his acoustic sounds?
I'll be honest with you.
I know it.
Andy could have just been speaking Polynesian or some other.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that question was.
Me, I was like, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Okay, good. Cool. That's
Because it
where
was
the
so
insider.
specific.
I
Yeah.
know that Salty
Captain Salty the Obvious?
Captain Salty the Obvious. I know that they're a real true fan because that's on my Instagram. You got to dive deep for that.
Hell yeah.
Boy.
Nicole Tompkins, who is a delight and plays one of my daughters in the game and is also Jill Valentine. So amazing.
Yeah.
She and I are very good friends, which was another benefit of doing Resident Evil, as I found Nicole Tompkins, and now we're very good friends. And so we got together and we played guitar and sang and harmonized. I really like to harmonize. I don't remember whose idea it was. I'm going to say it was a collaboration. All I was looking for was to find a song that was easy for me to learn on the guitar in 2 seconds, and also that had lots and lots of harmonies, because that's all I want to sing all day, every day. So it fit the bill. And then to get to sing a cute little love song with one of my besties was just a cherry on top.
Aw, love that.
Yeah.
This next one, the question does not quite match the username. I'm a little bit upset by that. So
Okay.
Belly Nipples asks, well, was this a character that you had the ability to read up on, or did you go in and read lines with the director to guide you?
We kind of touched on that a little bit.
Oh, nar. I've got nothing to go on. And
Yeah.
that's very true for VO sessions in general. You don't oftentimes receive your lines in advance. So even when I was going into the ADR booth to record just wild lines, or to record to the previous track, I know words. Oftentimes I was only seeing that line right then and there 2 seconds before. And then what they do is they'll be like, all right, so like, here's what's happening right before this. Ready, go. Give me 3 different takes.
I love that, man.
Okay.
That's like the crash. What do they call it? Not crash acting. I forget what it's called. It's basically like you're improvising all day and just having it and just reading sides, improvising, playing. It's like a playground, and that just sounds like a blast to me.
It is. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That's part of why it's so fun, and because you're just and why flexibility and improv skills are so important, because you never know what's going to be thrown at you. And improv is not just about being funny. It's about, can I come up with new ideas really, really quickly and create a world? So I like that challenge, but you're right. It's interesting. And it's always a kind of ironic too, because then the fans will be like, oh my gosh, do you remember this? And I'm like, no. That you are the expert of the game more than I am, because I'm recording these lines like totally out from nowhere. And then I don't see them all put together until the game comes out. And then I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Oh, okay. We're doing that. Like, that's awesome. Yeah. But oftentimes you have no clue. You're just saying lines and they're going to pick the take that they think works with the context the best. And doodle-doodle-doodle-doo.
Steven,
yeah, go ahead. Ask me what.
That's it for that. Portion.
Okay, good.
I do want to get to some of our greatest hits in the rapid fire realm, but before we
we'll do that quickly. Yeah.
I have a question for you.
For me,
because I want to ask Maggie a question after, but it's based on how you respond to me.
Yeah. Is it a cake question?
Is Maggie cake worthy?
So Maggie is cake worthy. Now here's the issue.
Oh boy.
We have a handler sneakily listening in. So the handler, it might ultimately dictate whether or not Maggie is cake worthy. We could ask, and Maggie or Maggie's handler can choose whether or not Maggie answers.
I love that you're calling them my handler.
Well, I have a
I'm a child
kayfabe handler as well, so it's okay.
Okay.
Miss Envy, shout out to you if you're watching or listening.
My person is on this call.
Yes, you have your person.
But the person is not in the same room with you, so.
Oh, Andy just died forever.
And
you've had guests had like. Am I here? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. You just froze for a second. You're good.
Oh, God, so sorry.
Internet.
No, we've had guests where they had the handler in the same room with them, so I'd say all bets are off. So
yeah, good luck.
You're not in the same.
Good luck, handler. All right.
Time out though. What is cake?
You'll see. You'll find out. You'll find out.
Okay.
So first of all, congratulations, you are cake worthy.
You are cake worthy, regardless if you answer it. You are cake worthy.
I think that's gonna be on your little Twitter profile.
That's a high honor.
Cake worthy.
So I always wanted to be cake worthy, even without knowing what it means.
No,
I know that you
might change your mind. Okay. First question: is breakfast cereal a soup? Yes or no?
Stop it. Did you steal this from my Twitter?
No.
Actually?
We ask that of almost every guest. Yes.
Yeah.
I asked this on my Twitter the other
Holy shit.
Okay.
day.
All right.
What is time?
Time is but a construct.
Yeah. Time is a construct. I don't, yeah. Okay. Breakfast, soup. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Because soup's got to be hot. And I know the people who are gazpacho fans are going to come at me for that. And I'm like, yo, bro, I don't like gazpacho. So I don't care.
Put that shit in the microwave. Call me later.
Mic it up. Nuke it up. Okay. Warm that shit up.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at keeping secrets?
Well, it depends on the secret. I'll decide whether or not.
Oh, you don't
secret's
treat all
worthy.
secrets equally. Okay.
Not all secrets are created equal. NDA secrets are very serious.
Damn it, she's onto me.
If you tell me,
Andy, I was on to you within the first 30 seconds.
That's not serious.
Of meeting me. Yes, I know.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Indeed.
Why? What's your secret?
Which one? The
tell
show's not
me.
long enough for that.
We have a lot of bonus episodes going into that.
There's a darkness within Maggie. Let's move on.
Yeah. This was my first red flag was this next question. Would you rather have the gift of flight or invisibility?
Fucking flight. Can I curse? I'm sorry.
Yeah. We're Swith. We're for adults and kids who want to listen under their pillows and whatnot, and not tell their mom or their dad.
Then I want to fucking fly. Being invisible sounds very lonely, and I want to fly. I want to feel the wind on my face. I like feeling a breeze.
I hear that.
See, I like that. It's a good answer.
It's a very good answer.
If the profession of voice acting were illegal, what would its street name be?
I thought you were going to ask me what I would do instead. And I was about to be like, I'm going to go be a goat handler, a goat herder.
Okay. So there you go. There's a street name. Got any good goat herds? Got any good goats?
The street name.
Goat handler for hire.
The original goats are here. I don't know.
Goats are pretty dope.
Maggie, you're the goat.
Thank you. You should. Yeah. Wow. I'm the cake and I'm the goat.
Oh my god.
So you're really putting a lot of weight on this whole cake thing.
I'm gonna throw up a leg. It's so cute.
What's the dumbest way you've injured yourself?
Do I want to say? Okay.
That's a yes.
I broke my nose after I had an entire bottle of champagne to myself one New Year's Eve, and I broke it. Do I want to say this? Oh, Lord.
You're there.
I broke it when I was vomiting, okay? So I must have hit my nose on the toilet.
Oh, no.
I woke up and I was like, ow! And I had no idea how it happened. So here we go. Now that will live on forever in infamy.
Yikes. Yikes on bikes right there.
I'm glad I told that story. Wow.
Praying to the porcelain gods never ends well.
That's on the internet now.
Never ends well.
Yeah, that exists.
Would you rather be a cult leader or a cult member?
Leader, obviously.
Okay.
I want people to worship me.
Congratulations.
You did it. You're there.
I know. I weirdly kind of feel like I already am. But
okay. Here's a question.
That's a redundant question, Andy.
I'll modify that, Andy. Would you rather be the cult leader, or we'll call it the big bad? Would you rather be the big bad or the final girl?
The big bad.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be.
Next question.
Maggie.
Yes.
If you are what you eat, what are you?
Yikes. I'm a potato.
Can that be the quote for this one?
Yes.
I'm a potato.
I'm a potato. Maggie Robertson digs deep into.
Listen. Who owns it? Hasbro, Miss Potato Head? like the rights to that? Is like
You saying that just got us a copyright strike. So can you keep that out of your mouth? Don't you remember the Senor? How do you say bucket in Spanish? It's something P. I know this.
It's definitely not El Bucket.
No.
Sure.
Anyway, don't say that name because you will get sued. Next, I'll do.
Say the name. Well, no,
it's a long story. You could Google it. It's a long story. All right, I'll do one more, and then Andy, you'll do cake worthy.
No, I have one more than cake.
Okay.
Apologies if I slip into darkness like the villain that I am.
Oh, I love it.
That's actually really cool.
As you approach,
if we can end the stream with me just in a
just
total
fading.
voice.
Okay. Which one do I want to do?
Steven,
Yes.
I can go while you think of a question.
Please go.
What would your safe word be?
No, I don't know. That's not it. I don't know. I always go for pineapple, but I know that's kind of a cliche at this point.
If you said potato again,
I was gonna say potato would probably be pretty good.
Potato, just like that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, you said potato. Oh, it's because I'm hungry. Oh, okay. Damn, maybe we got to choose something else.
Yes. All right, Steve, go. And then I'll ask my last one. Then we'll head out.
Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about if you're a sociopath. When you put your shoes on in the morning, are you doing sock shoe, or are you doing sock shoe? I could
absolutely not. That's atrocious.
Okay.
That makes me want to die. I'm a sock shoe.
Yeah. I got you. All right, Andy. It's time for cake, and then our ceremonial final question.
Time for cake and get out of here.
We've hyped it up enough, and now I'm going to push my mic away from my face.
You want no part of this, Maggie?
I want to take my earbuds out right now.
Just walk.
We're just going to let it go. We're just going to let it go. We're just going to let it happen.
Maggie, would you rather eat a dick flavored cake or a cake flavored dick?
This is what cake worthy means?
If you're a really cool guest, you get asked the really cool question.
If a level of comfort,
but also you're gonna have to ask it again because I kind of blacked out after I heard the first day, so the rest of it was a blur.
Would you rather eat a cake flavored dick or a dick flavored cake?
And we're gonna put you on a very special list of cake worthy guests.
Wow. I'm going to eat a dick flavored cake because there's organs, there's blood, there's tissue. I don't want any.
It doesn't matter what it tastes like.
We'll leave that to Lady D.
It's very, very visceral.
Lady D might do the other
Lady
one,
D almost assuredly has done the other way.
So the answer is both, basically. It's yes to both. Because
you're...
Depending on the day. Who is taking hold of my body?
Depending on how many balls are on your Velcro suit that day.
Steven, take us home.
All right, we're going to take you home to this final question. It's a very simple question. A baby can answer it. It is a binary question. There are two possible answers, and you are going to give us one of those two possible answers. Everyone has answered this question that has been on the show. Good luck. Do your best. The question is, Andy or Steve?
Oh, no. No, why would you do this to us?
I know, it's bad. It's really bad.
That's horrible.
It's for three reasons.
Okay.
One, for that exact moment that just happened.
Yeah.
Two, it's for bragging rights. Because we have a running list of who has the most
I've never
decisions.
seen this list.
It exists. I'm making it into a throw blanket.
Steve has kept the list.
It's being made. It's being made.
Future quilt,
Yes, it is. And the other reason is morbid curiosity, and we also like to know how the person interprets the question.
Yeah.
Cool. I would also like to take a moment to really appreciate my mood lighting here. I'm vibing.
It looks great.
I don't know about you. I'm really vibing.
You're crushing it.
Yeah. It looks like you got a full moon behind you, kind of, and it's just like going through your windows.
Thank you so much. I really thrive on affirmation, so that really means a lot. All right.
Are you gonna talk about like are you gonna do a murder podcast right now? Because it looks like you're about to do a murder podcast.
I might.
You're gonna do a makeup tutorial murder podcast right
I
now.
just need the flat. Hold on, where's my phone?
we're getting it here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Talk to us about the serial killer
And
from
that's
Ohio.
That's the thumbnail. All right.
There it is. We found it. Clip that out.
There you go.
All right,
Wow,
answer the
so
question,
good.
you
Okay, great.
coward.
I'm going to answer your question. You're not going to like my answer, but here is why I'm choosing the person that I'm choosing, and I will say
I already know the answer.
Do you?
Yeah.
Who do you think?
It's Andy.
Why?
Why not?
I'll give you 3 reasons.
You seen this face?
He's the one that reached out to make the connection. That's number 1. That always works against me. Number 2, he's played the game. And he isn't a coward, so he's played the game. Number 3, he's the least threatening of the 2 of us because he is a gay man.
Number 4, adorable.
Well,
I could
all
take
those
you,
are
buddy.
Great reasons. None of them are the reasons that I chose. The only reason.
Oh wow!
No, that's a lie. There were 2.
Okay, there are now 5.
1.
There are now 5 reasons, Andy. So congratulations, you now get 5 points. I'm just gonna go.
Number 1
sulk
was
in the corner.
Dramatic glasses off
Mhm.
question moment.
That was a good choice,
Number
Andy.
2, and I can't remember if this happened on stream or pre-stream. You described Andy as a little gay burrito, and that image is just the
Steven.
magnificent.
Thank you.
Thing that I've ever experienced.
You're full of so many things.
I am.
That when together and chewed at the same time are quite delectable, but I wouldn't order like just like a piece of that, you know? Like I would want the whole burrito in my mouth. You know what I mean?
Gosh, look. Oh my gosh. No time like the last second to remember that I actually have lights on my desk. Let's end the stream.
Who needs lights?
And with that,
who needs lights?
Steven.
Let's go.
That's going to bring us to the end of the show. Thank you so much, viewers, listeners. It was an absolute pleasure doing the show with you. Again, if you want to follow us on social media, we're at duel_screens. I'm at Batchild27. Andy is at PantsGuy. Our Facebook group is facebook.com/groups/DS podcasts. Excuse me. I took a gulp of water before, went down the wrong pipe. Yeah, and that's really going to do it. Where can everybody follow you, Maggie?
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Maggie the Bard, and also I believe now at YouTube at Maggie the Bard 2.
Ooh.
Maggie the Bard space as well, not Maggie the Bard 2.
Correct.
It's all Maggie the Bard.
But once you get like 8 million subscribers, you can make a second channel, Maggie the Bard 2. Get 8 million there, and then you're just rolling in that Mr. Beast
and
money.
I'll clip this to play on repeat.
There you go.
Love it. That's it.
Bomb.com.
Boom. Boom.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, everybody. And as always, please be excellent to each other.